Once upon a time, there was a small Nigerian town named Ilese. Ilese was full of excitement with Masquerade Festival, which held yearly, that transformed the sleepy street into a place of wonder, music, and colorful tradition. There was a young girl named Adenuke. Is a young girl with a big dream of leaving the town to Lagos. Look forward for the festival. It was a brief escape for her routine and a chance to enjoy the misery surrounding the masquerades. Each dancer had their faces covered with elaborate marks, giving them an air and a power for no recognitions. As Adenuke made her way to the town square, she caught sight of one particular masked figure who dressed in a striking red and gold costume. He moved with a grace that captured her attention immediately. She couldn't help but wonder who he was. Her curiosity unimaginable. She found herself returning to the square day after day just to catch another glimpse of him. What she didn't know was that her life was about to change in a way that she couldn't have imagined it. But what she didn't know was that her life was about to change in a way she couldn't have imagined it. The unimaginable encounter. Adenike had never been one to approach stranger, let alone a masked one. But there is something about the boy in the red and gold costume that compelled her. Every evening, while walking after the festival has ended, she finds herself face to face with him in a quiet railway. He stood still, as though waiting for her. She frozen, unsure of what to say or do. But before she could turn away, he spoke. "You have been watching me." His voice was soft, but carried an authority that sent a shiver down her spine. Surprised by the encounter, Aderunke steamed to reply. "I was just curious," she admitted, trying to sound casual. He nodded, the mark still hiding his expressions, but his posture seemed relaxed. "Curiosity is dangerous in this town," he said, but there was no threat in his voice. Instead, it was almost as though he was inviting her to find out the more. The Max encounter. The following day, Adenike couldn't shake the memories of her encounter with the Max boy. She relaxed. She replaced the moment over and over in her mind, wondering who he was and why he wore the mask outside the festivity hour. Her curiosity now turned into a something deeper, a desire to know the person behind the mask. Who was he when he wasn't performing? What he is in a real life. All this has been bothering her, and all this has been in her thoughts. That evening, she returned to the square, but the Max boy wasn't nowhere to be found. She felt so disappointed. She began wondering, though she wandered through the town, unsure of what she was even looking for. Just as she was about to give up, she spotted him standing by the riverside, marked fully in place. This time, she approaches him with more confidence. "Why do you wear marks?" she asks, her voice steady. He turned to her, his eyes the only visible part of his face, looking onto her. "Some things are better hidden," he replied critically. The secret of Larry, the Max boy, unveiled. Day passes, and Adorinke found herself meeting the Max boy, Larry, in a secret place. They would talk for hours about everything, literally everything and nothing. Her dream of moving to the city, his mystery life in the village. Yet, no matter how much they stayed or talked, Larry never took off his mask. He dodged every question, literally every question she asked, about everything. Her dreams of moving to the city, his mysterious life in the town. Yet, no matter how much she shared, Larry never took off his mask. He dodged every question about it, always steering the conversation back to Aderunke in an ambitious way. Larry said, "You are not like others in the town. he told her one evening. His words resonated with her deeply. For as long as they could remember, Aderonke had felt out of place in Iresitan, while others were content with their lives in the village. She dreamt of something bigger, but how did Larry knew this about her, and why did he seem to invested in her dream so much like this? Whispered in the market. News about Aderonke and Larry began to spread through the town. The women